about, what's going on and the fact that Celtic has fallen. Now Gillen rushes ahead because the king needs to know this fast so he can prepare. And while Will, Evelyn, and Horace travels back more slowly, still as fast as they can, they learn some things about Morgoth's plans. They learn that he is planning to attack through Celtica via a bridge, here by the name, the Burning Bridge, because things happen later in the book, as you know. But they also learned that he's gonna attack through some forest up in the north. And this basically means that they'll come from 3 places, so they're gonna have to stop one of them and warn the king, so they go to where the bridge is. They realize it's giant wooden bridge that they'll be ready in 1 or 2 days. So they have to hurry, and they found out that he also got Scandians with him, which they kinda knew, but now they know for sure. So Will burns the bridge. He and Evelyn does, and they get caught. Horace runs back on the 3 horses they got, and as he gets there, he tells the king what happens, and the king takes it very well, knowing that his daughter might be dead. So pretty kudos to him, but still pretty scary stuff. Anyways, the war happens, and the king is prepared for everything that's happening, so he can easily win the war. And this is when Morgoth does something interesting. He He uses the king's strongest character trait, which is his chivalry, by saying, "Oh, well, there's a rule of parley." I call it rule of parley. I don't actually remember what the book called. I think it's negotiation flag or something like that. Anyways, basically that they can meet in the middle of the battlefield and not get get attacked. And so the king feels he has to do it just to show his nobility that he is better than Morgoth. And Morgoth basically prepares to order a challenge, and everyone's ready for who's gonna fight for the king, because of course he's gonna challenge the king. But no, Morgoth realized that he has lost, so he challenges Halt to gain revenge, because Halt again, he thinks, is the reason why he lost this war. Because Halt stopped the Scandians from coming through the forest by surprise attacking them, and then also disguising part of the army as Scandians to lure Morgoth into feeling safe when it was a swooping down assault from behind. Anyways, but right as he's about to challenge, Horace runs in and challenges Morgoth, and then comes a very intense fight where we basically get a Chekhov's gun that I really, really like. So Will and Horace, with Gillen was with them in Celtica, was training, because Gillen knows ranger stuff, of course, but he's also really skilled with a sword. Now, he teaches them the dual knife sword defense thingy, basically how to defend yourself when you have 2 knives against a sword. And during the battle, Horace's sword shatters, and against Morgoth's longer sword. And so he's basically with half a sword and a dagger. And then he realizes that, oh wait, I have been trained for this moment. And so he uses defense. And it's a really good Chekhov's gun, because John Flanagan didn't need to do this. He could make Horace win by, I don't know, making Morgoth's horse trip, and then he jumped on top of him, they would scuffle around on the ground, and then Horace would finally manage to get a good blow with the buckle of the sword onto his temples, and then stab him with the shadowed sword and kill him that way. But it was pretty neat with a Chekhov's gun like that. And he describes it very well. As someone who did martial arts, he actually describes it well enough so that I knew exactly what he was trying to make them do, and I can tell you, it will work. At least from what I understand of martial arts, and I've been teaching it and doing it did it for almost 10 years. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. So yeah, that's kind of the storyline, and then the end is and Evelyn gets onto a Scandian ship because they are prisoners, and they've traveled to Scandia, where Halt tried to stop them going there, but he was too slow. There you go. That's a resume. Alright, let's talk about the different things going on in this book, because really, you can watch my review of the first book and you will get most of the things in this one. Like, the characters are pretty much the same. Will and Horace does go through a character development. They do get more well-rounded, and Alice does too. She does get a little mission with Holt, and I love that. I love it rounds her out more. She's still the pretty nice blonde girl, but at least she's shown herself to be capable in her trade. And also, they expand on Holt's character by making him all grumpy and so on because he misses Will and is worried because Will is still just a first-year apprentice. You know? But other than that, really, it's just more of the same. Well, okay, in my first review, I talked about how I thought Morgoth was kind of like Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter. That was his name. And I stand by that still. But I do believe he's handled better here in the end than Voldemort was in Book 7. Because Voldemort, when he realized that he lost, he was like, no, I refuse to believe it, and all that stuff. Well, basically, she probably wanted to end the series at that point too. But she could have made him, oh, Harry defeated all my Horcruxes. I will retreat and return stronger, and then make like 2 or 3 more books where Harry's chasing him and he's trying to create more Horcruxes and stuff like that. But anyways, here Voldemort basically doesn't want to admit he lost. While John Flanagan writes Morgoth in a way, Morgoth's like, yeah, okay, I lost. Fair enough. Not much I can do. Well, I can try and assert revenge on the person I feel is most responsible. Even though that fails too, that's believable. And it's very believable that an ex-Knight Lord Morgoth would use chivalry. Especially knowing King Duncan as well as he does. Now, that's just my little rant on. I think Harry Potter could have ended way better than it did, but or maybe, I don't know. Anyways, so some themes in the book, well, it's pretty much the same, but I want to tell you a little story, actually, because themes are the same as in the first one. Watch my first review of the first book and you got this one. So, anyways, the story I wanted to get to was how I started this series, because this is my all-time favorite series, as I said in my video where my tier list video of all the books I've read this year. I started it because I just read a bunch of Dragon Ball. I was like 10, and I read all of them like 5 times with my classmates, and I wanted to read something else too. I love Dragon Ball.